Hey guys, this is pretty much an update and a how-to video. It's an update on my Panther II by DML. It's an older DML kit as far as the hull goes. It doesn't have exactly the perfect fit, but you can make it fit. And some of the tools, etc., are showing their age as far as the detail, fidelity of detail. It's pretty much done and ready for paint. The next step will be priming it and then picking out a paint scheme. After I've primed it and painted it, because like here you can see in the engine deck, they don't blank off the engine deck, so I had to do that. So I'll have to paint those flat black inside there after I've done it the last painting on the hull, and then put the screens on, etc. Those little tiny turnbuckles right there, those are to hold the cables on those little brackets on the back. These are cables that I've taken out of my spare parts box, really. These are from a guy in Poland. You probably know him. He sells the Friuli tracks too. But that comes to the second part of the video, which is what to do about the tracks. The kit tracks are just like this, and they're plastic, they're multi-part. You have to put them all together and then hope you get them wrapped around the road wheels, etc., like they're supposed to be, without coming apart and without getting too solidified by the plastic cement. And then you have to soften them up a little bit and glue them in place, blah blah blah. One thing leads to another. You end up with about a half good set of tracks. So what I've done is I decided to solve that problem. I bought a set of Friuli tracks. What you got to get for the Panther II to replicate the ones that come in the kit as far as plastic are the transport tracks for the Tiger II, Hunting Tiger, or the Panther II. The Panther II transport tracks fit it really well and look real well. Now the track links come in separate bags. There's 3 bags because there's no right and left hand. They're universal tracks, so there's just one set of big cleats, one set of middle cleats, which are fit the track links together, and then there's this tiny little part here that goes on to, as you can see it here in the single link, it kind of helps hold the tracks together. Now what I've got here is also a little assembly jig that they're really good to give you in the kit, because without this you'd need at least 3, maybe 4 hands to assemble these tracks. There are the 3 components: the main track link, the intermediate track link that goes in between them, like this. Here's some I've done already. You can see from the other side how they go. There's the main track link, there's the in-between one, and then there's that little feature that fits in between them right there, and that's that thing right there. So what you do is you don't drop them on the floor. Or you do if you're me. You take the track links you're assembling and you put them in the first little part of the jig there, like that. And then the in-between part goes in, well, that goes in second or third. You put the one you're going to assemble on it there, like that. And then this little fiddly thing. How does this go? Oh yeah. It's there's like a side to it that's thicker than the other side, and that goes in on this side here. So you can get them together like that. Now, I've already cleaned up these links. There is some little burring, etc., that has to be cleaned up with a sharp hobby knife. And let's see, I gotta take this tweezer. It's going to be easier to say than do. Now you'll see what I mean when I say that you need at least 3 or 4 hands if you didn't know this little jig. There it goes in like that. Now you can take the, let me just set this down for a second. And you got to go in here. Let me show you here. You go in here with your pin vise and your drill, and you drill all the way through, and then you put a piece of wire in there to connect them, and then super glue that wire in. I made a little jig. This is made out of plastic, and that's almost the ideal length for the wire. So you can take the wire and put it in there right till it bottoms out, okay? And then you take a nipper and you cut it off right at the top. I cut off about 6 or 7 at a time, and then I put them on the bench so I can handle them as needed. But anyway, then once you get the wire all the way in, you've got to get it all the way in, because it'll never hold that little link in there unless you get the wire all the way to the end. So you've got to feed it through. Sometimes they're a little stubborn, but you get it all the way through, and then you nip it off, and then you can take it apart and then super glue the end in. I use just super glue gel. Let's see, cheap stuff. I get it at the dollar store. Two tubes for $1. Can't beat that at the drugstore. Or I mean, sorry, at the hardware store they're about $3.95 a tube. That's about it for this update and how-to segment. And as you can see, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few days. I'm going to be making tracks. But I really think they're worth it, because all the time you spend, you end up with a very handleable, workable track that won't give you any fit problems, any droop problems on your model. They'll sit just right, and it'll just give it a very, very professional feel and heft to it. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time.